My name is Nassim Sabs.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
This structure was not built so humans could walk to the top. This structure was built so something else came down and walked down. This is the podium where they presented themselves to the people. This was the landing pad, and they walked down to present themselves. This is the red carpet for the fallen angels.
Could you explain the Rothschilds? The Rothschilds? The Rothschilds are a family. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen the three little globes that hang around the pawn shop as the emblem of a pawn shop. That comes from 3 acorns off the Rothschilds family crest. They were moneylenders to begin with in Austria, and they became, which they are now, the richest family in the world. They are not considered humans by the occult world. They're considered gods. They believe that gods, sons and daughters of Lucifer, dwell in these human bodies. And when the humans die, the Rothschilds die, they go into the next Rothschild born. And they're not to be treated as men, they're to be treated as gods. And believe me, they are treated as gods. Their word is absolute law. That's the Rothschilds. They founded the Illuminati, and many people can't understand why a family of Rothschilds 200 years ago, it's actually 3 because they existed 100 years before their birth date, would create a conspiracy for world takeover that they never hoped to see fulfilled. Well, that's because witches believe in reincarnation, and they believed that they would be alive during that time to see it happen. This may seem funny to your ideas, but when you're raised in it, it's absolute truth to witchcraft people.
You mentioned a time or two the Illuminati. Could you, in just a few words, summarize what you understand the Illuminati is?
Okay. Many people call it the Great Conspiracy, which is kind of true, but actually the Illuminati is about 1,000 conspiracies all running at one time. Therefore, a lot of them backfired. But it was formed about 100 years before its original birth date. The birth date is May 1st, 1776. Witches always start everything on May 1st. That's why even the communist birthday is on May 1st. That's their New Year's Day. But it means the holders of the light, or the light bearers. Now, witches have another name for it, too. Since it is a death penalty to use the name the Illuminati, you must say Mariah, which means the conquering, destroying wind. But its belief is that Lucifer is God, and that everything else is imposter, and that Lucifer can bring peace to the world by his lifters or upholders' conspiracy. And they're going to conspire and conspire and conspire till they have a world government. Sometimes I wonder why they could be so dumb that they're doing exactly what is going to lead to their destruction. But then that's usually how the devil is. He keeps everything in darkness. But that's the Illuminati. It's a world conspiracy, and I might add, an extremely powerful one. The occult is its religion. Now, many of you are doctors, lawyers, mechanics, construction workers, businessmen, whatever. Most of you are Christians and Baptists, okay? But he's your minister, or at least if you're from this church. And the Illuminati, they all have jobs. But the witches are their ministers. But they're all Luciferians. The witches are the ministers, and they're the church members, and the religion is Luciferianism. Now, the real Illuminati, the organization itself, is financially powerful and politically motivated. Through their finance, they have an old witch's rune, which is kind of a saying, a poem. They say, let the kings be kings, let the bankers be bankers, and let the priests be priests. Translated, it simply means that it doesn't matter who rules, as long as the bankers have the money, they'll own the person who rules. And the priest will run the bankers. That's the Illuminati. Okay. Yeah. Satan worshippers believe in Satan. Witches, the lower 3 levels, believe in gods or else God's self, in ESP and so on. They believe in plural gods like the mother goddess Isis and so on. Or the higher levels are Luciferians. which believe in one God, and the minor gods being in the Rothschilds. Okay? That's the difference.
You mean the average witch is not taught that there is such a being as Lucifer or the devil?
Well, for one, when you believe in Lucifer, you don't believe he's the devil. Okay? No, they believe in the mother goddess, which is called by many names, as the poem about her goes. Diana, Isis, Asherah, which was the female side of Baal. And they believe, actually it's Baal worship, there was a male and female god. Asherah, and then the horned hunter of the night is the way he's portrayed in all countries, which is more or less kind of the underworld god, the devil, or whatever.
Okay. All right.
The Satanist church, Christ and Jesus are the same person. Okay? No, that's the teaching. In the Satanist church, Christ, Jesus Christ, and Satan are the same person. That's the Satanist belief. And the Luciferian, they believe that Jesus Christ is the God of evil. Okay? Like we would feel about the devil, they feel about Jesus. And Lucifer, they feel towards him like we'd feel about Jesus. That's what they teach. Okay?
Odin?
That world takeover plan ended with World War III. But one of the teachings is that when Lucifer sets up his kingdom, okay, that through World War III, most of the civilized world as it exists now will be in rubble. And the one protected capital that they have purposely kept all missiles away from both sides, is Jerusalem. And they plan on using Jerusalem to set up from there, okay? Do they believe that Adam's original home, or the Garden of Eden, rests where Jerusalem is? So they're going to rule from there.
How do Masons relate to all of this?
Okay.
Listen closely, you Masons.
Council 13 is the highest council in the Illuminati. The council right below it is the Council of 33. That's called the Grand Masters. They're the 33 highest Masons in the world. To be a member of the Council of 33, you must take a human life in a ceremony to prove your worthiness. We have in our hands copies, and Chick Publications is releasing this in their new book, Angel of Light. Copies of a 32nd, 33rd level book which proclaims Jesus Christ, the God of brutality and sin and evil, and Lucifer, the God of love, beauty, and peace, and the true God. Yeah, a little shocking, huh? Different from the way it's portrayed. But don't be mad at the lower Masons. It also says in the same book that the lower Masons are sheep to be sheared. Now, many Masons are getting saved through our message, lower and higher, because they recognize when I didn't tonight, gave my initiation to become a witch, and my vow of secrecy is the same as theirs. All the way through, the same. No different. Now, Masons were started by the Illuminati. It's all through our history that they're tied with the Illuminati. Their rights are witchcraft rights, when witchcraft had to go underground. We've had people come in and tear up their membership cards and get right with the Lord. Mainly because, if you didn't know this, Charles Finney was a Mason, and when he got saved, he said, I can't be a Mason and be a Christian. It is impossible, because the vows I must take are non-Christian vows. Okay? People are getting saved right and left, and they all have one thing to say. When they leave the Masons, the reason they didn't leave before is they were afraid of what the Masons would do to them. Now, if it is a good group, why are people afraid to leave it?
This is the exact location where the sons of God, the fallen angels, came to earth for the first time. They chose the daughters of men and began their campaign of genetic contamination upon the earth at this location.
So the New World Order is the manifested hatred. Okay. The New World Order is the manifested hatred that fallen angels, evil spirits have against Jesus, who is God, the real God that made everything. That Jesus, okay? That is what the New World Order is. It is the manifested murderous hatred and rage against Jesus. Fallen angels can do nothing to directly hurt Jesus because Jesus is God. They cannot do anything. However, they can do things against people who God loves very much. So that's what the New World Order is. It is the ultimate manifestation of that hatred. The New World Order is the worldwide government system of satanic slavery and death that is wielded like a weapon against people in order to kill people, because Satan, being the head fallen angel, hates Jesus and hates God. That's what it is. That's what all this is. All this is that. That's everything. That's top to bottom everything about the New World Order. That's what this is. That is the full breakdown of it. 100% explained. As best as I can explain it. I'm not trying to leave anything out, but I'm trying to get the main points across here. That's what it is.
But you don't see it. See, you don't see it because you don't want to see it. Okay? Wake up. Look at the signs around you. And I don't mean the big ones. Look for the small ones, because the small ones are the ones that are the most telling. You don't get it, do you? You haven't woken up. And by the time that you do, and you still have time, it might not be too late. And you know what? They won't be held accountable in front of God, because the ones that are doing this to you will not be held accountable. You don't want to see it. Okay? Wake up. Look at the signs around you. And I don't mean the big ones. Look for the small ones, because the small ones are the ones that are the most telling. You don't get it, do you? You haven't woken up. And by the time that you do, and you still have time, it might not be too late. And you know what? They won't be held accountable in front of God, because the ones that are doing this to you will not be held accountable, because you were given a fair opportunity, which is your entire life. Babies and that stuff, that's totally separate. But you, adults and young adults and old adults, you've had your entire life to look around and see where the signs are, and you have chosen to accept evil. You have chosen to accept stupidity. You have chosen to accept, it's not my problem, I don't care. And now that is going to be the reward that will be heaped on you when they finally close the door, because you will be stupid. They won't care, and it's not their problem. Start looking at the signs. And I don't mean the shit on the news, and I don't mean the crap that you hear in Scuttlebutt. Do some research. It's right in front of your face. Stop screwing around. It's right there. It's been there the whole time, your whole life. Music is one of the strongest forces. How many times have you sang songs that you don't even know what the fuck it means, but you still sing it?
Okay? It is disgusting. It is evil. It is no freedom. It is top-down control of you not having any say about anything. And you're just going to be told what to do like a slave, and you're just going to take orders. Told where to live, told how to live, told how to act, told how to behave, told how to think, told what opinions to have, told what to like, told what not to like. Okay? Slave. Totally. Not just in your physical body, but in your mental body, in your spiritual body. Told what's right, told what's wrong, and then punished if you got out of line from that. Because the devil needs to have a nice, quiet, complacent populace, because people that are like that are easier to kill.